This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Well, there's a party each and every year on Christmas Eve, where the fun and cocktail shrimp don't seem to end. Clark and Ralphie taking turns on the TV screen, laughing, singing, yelling with all of our friends. Well, it's Christmas, and let the bodies go spread the holiday cheer. 'Cause it's Christmas. Whoa, oh, it's the best time of the year. Let's go fake reindeer.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Matt.
This was sort of your pick, but it also ties into what's happening in the world because the final Jackass movie just came out. So you had us watch Jackass Season 1, Episode 8, Santa Colonic. Now, we're going to talk about these segments, but there isn't like a ton. There's a couple things to talk about, but a lot of it's just like, here's a bit. They fell down and got hurt a bunch. Like, there's not too much to say. So you were saying, we'll talk about this, but also we'll talk about our history with the crew behind Jackass. My question is, do you want to knock out the episode first and then go into our history, or talk about history and then talk the episode?
Let's knock out the episode first, and then we'll talk about
All right, so
Jackass and the crew.
I wrote a couple notes here. It starts off, hey, I'm Santa Claus and this is Jackass, before getting kicked in the nuts. So we're already in the Christmas spirit. And then we go into the aggressive sledding bit, which is really funny. And it's set to the Dickies version of Silent Night, which I fucking love. Already
Fantastic.
in a good mood.
Yeah.
Then sadness hits because the next segment we get Ryan Dunn.
Yeah.
And it's such a young Ryan Dunn. It's such a
young.
skinny Ryan Dunn. And this is, the first major loss to Jackass is Ryan Dunn. So seeing him this early, you're just like,
Have we had others at this point?
Not yet.
Yeah.
But
which is,
I'm just,
listen, and I don't
it's
want to
shocking,
sound,
honestly.
Yeah, I don't want to sound morbid, but is wild.
well, a big part of it is all but one person has really been working on their mental health and sobriety.
Yes.
And then one other person has been spiraling and blaming the rest of the Jackass crew for all their troubles.
Yeah.
We won't get into it.
No,
yet.
I don't know where they stand right this current second.
Yeah,
I think
but
we're on an upturn, but
I hope so.
fingers crossed.
That being said, Ryan Dunn skiing down
Yes.
this pavement is very, very funny.
It's fantastic. Honestly, I would say throughout this entire show, this episode, a lot of this is very tame.
it's tame, but so I guess we will get into a little bit of our history.
But that's what I like. I'm into it.
I never watched the shows. I was strictly a movie guy. So I've seen all the Jackass movies. I've seen the bonus movies, Jackass 2.5
so
and 3.5.
this is very tame compared
This
to
is
some
very
of the stuff they
tame
did
compared.
on that, yeah.
But this was, so I've been doing it should be up by the time this episode comes out, but for the YouTube, I did like a brief history of Jackass.
Okay.
And it is like this is going to be like a 6-minute video. We're not like deep diving into every nook and cranny.
Yeah, for sure. There's a good, that documentary they did on the Big Brother skate magazine and all of that stuff was really good. That was enjoyable.
That's the thing. I don't think I realized that there was such a skate magazine tie-in to this.
Yeah.
And watching this show,
oh, it is all over the place in this show, man.
That's what I was gonna say. I started to feel nostalgic, even though I never watched the show, because the next thing we get is Wee Man dressed as a reindeer skateboarding to Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC with a bunch of other professional skaters, including Tony Hawk, doing skateboard tricks in
Bucky
Santa
Lasik.
costumes.
Yeah.
And I grew up never knowing how to skateboard, but all my friends were skateboard guys. So I watched so many skateboard videos in my childhood. I'm like, I don't think because I knew Jackass for the crazy stunts.
Yeah.
This was the first time it dawned on me that as much as there was crazy stunts and like really gross shit, it was also like a skate video on television, basically.
Yeah,
like the
that's
aesthetic and the feel of it.
What this entire show was it's like, hey, it's making a skate video and then realizing some of the best parts of those skate videos were the stupid sketches that they did, and then that's kind of where they went with this, and those sketches outnumber the skate video aspects. But it's very much skate video vibes. This feels like, when I turn this on, this feels like I just put a VHS in.
It really does. Bart was like, this looks so bad. And I'm like, yeah, but that's with intention, and I love it.
It's so great. Like,
it's really
I love
good.
Every part about it. Go ahead.
But that's it. I mean, it was cool watching through the skateboards. The next thing I had written down was the California bobsled.
I love the California bobsled. There was the There's
like really short interstitials where like something happens for like 5 seconds that I didn't write down.
Yeah.
But
did we talk about, I think the Santa in the big tub extreme sledding?
Well, that was part of the aggressive sledding. Yeah, the aggressive sledding set to the
sledding.
dickies.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So as I'm watching this, I was like, what of these things would I do? And I was like,
I've done a variation of that as kids.
Yeah.
The fact that I survived is insane, but as kids, we used to climb into my parents' hamper and push ourselves down the steps.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is very much what aggressive sledding is.
100%.
Like,
now, what I don't mess with, though, is the bobsledding. I can't listen. Whenever they got into a shopping cart, I was like, so much can go wrong here.
Yeah.
So much can go wrong on this shopping cart. Plus, this episode really highlights how terrible these guys are at falling. Because every single time they fall, they are locking their arms straight forward as they're falling.
Locking arms and going face first every single time.
Yeah, it's
every
wild.
single time. Then we get, it's a very quick one, but it made me laugh, was the chicken and Santa Claus fighting in the middle of what I'm almost positive is Westchester. That looks like Westchester.
For sure.
But that's like for 10 seconds. We have the tree skiing, which is where Ryan Dunn is just skiing directly into a tree.
Yeah. And it's almost in slow motion, like how slow he's going into that tree.
And then the last thing we get before we get the two main chunks of this video is we get the nude snowsuit, which is insane. It's so gross.
So gross, but he's killing it.
He is killing it on the, but dear Lord. Then we get the title of the episode, the Santa Colonic. And my first note here is this woman is delightful. The woman that is, she's the star of this episode.
The two people that work at the Colonic, like playing along, they were great. They were fantastic. You could not have picked two people that were more willing to play ball than these two.
I wrote a bunch of quotes down from this because Johnny Knoxville's so quick-witted and funny in this. But they're talking, he goes, what's the most, he's getting a colonic, and he asks, like, what's the most fecal matter that you've ever extracted? And he says something like 19 pounds.
19 pounds, yeah.
And then John Wayne comes up in conversation, like that John Wayne used to get these all the time, and he said,
what had happened was he died, he said John Wayne died with 65 pounds of impacted feces.
And he says, why do you think they called him the Duke? Which is such a good line. And then I think it's around that point where one of them just like whispers, Santa's a freak.
Yeah. Yep. And the one guy, the guy of the two people, he's like, he had said, well, where are you from? Like he tries to actually talk to Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny
like, where are you
Knoxville
from?
says
He's
the
like,
North Pole.
North Pole. I only get down here about once or twice a year.
But then the highlight is the funniest moment. Barb and I were dying while this part happened. Is when they're done the colonic.
Yeah.
And they pull it out, and now Johnny Knoxville is basically like about to have like the biggest crap of his life.
Is it the legs bit?
He runs to the bathroom, and the guy says, see that thing between your legs? Pull it. And Johnny Knoxville very sincerely goes, my penis?
he does it twice. He
He goes, no, man.
it's on the floor.
It's on your floor. And he goes, yeah, that's my penis. It's so
And then he finally
funny.
just like it's like a those boards that you sit your
It's like
feet
an
on.
early
It
version of a
makes it
squatty
easier.
potty. It's
Yeah,
before
squatty
people
potty.
invented a squatty potty. They had
Yeah.
one built in there to get your legs nice and good. And I thought that this was the end. And I thought, wow, that was actually a really nice, tame episode of Jackass.
Nope.
Enter the eggnog challenge.
Yeah.
Which, man, as I've said before, never had eggnog. This certainly didn't make me want to have eggnog.
Well, it sounds like if they're being sincere, it sounds like the barely sober elf also had never had eggnog before.
Well, he crushed it. He took
Yeah, he
down
did.
50 cups. But there is
I don't know if they all count.
no, there is so much vomit in this segment. Like
Yeah.
an overwhelming amount.
You do notice that what was her name?
I
Becky
can't remember.
Bells. I
Becky
think
Bells,
Becky
yeah.
Bells. I looked her up because I was like, I don't remember who this is. Only appeared in this episode, only in this segment. Rumored that it's Chris Pontius's girlfriend at the time. You notice that she like had like 7 of these shots and then was like, fuck this. Like,
Yeah, she
and
tapped out.
stopped. She tapped out. Meanwhile,
Preston. It's
Preston and
his elf.
Chris, the other guy, the elf, they're just going ham, and it ends with basically Chris finishes his 50, vomits into Preston's hat, and then places Preston's hat on top of him, and then Preston has his patented meltdown and tears the set apart, to which he apologizes for later.
So I didn't know this again until I was doing my like history. Do you know the story of when Preston, like how Preston became part of this crew?
I do, but I don't remember. Like I've heard it before.
So obviously you had the people from Big Brother magazine.
Yep.
Are
And
like
then
one chunk of it.
and then
you
the
have the
CKY
CKY people in Westchester from the other half, and then they added 3 more people, to like really round out the team, and one of those people was Steve-O. Now, I noticed Steve-O's not in this episode. What I had read was that Steve-O's stuff was so extreme that they weren't allowed to put a lot of it in season 1, so that
no.
Steve-O's like barely in the first season of Jackass. It's not until season 2.
I can imagine that. Like I can. I'd love to know what wasn't.
Yeah, the other one was Danger Aaron. Someone was like,
Okay,
you got to get
yeah.
this stunt guy, Danger Aaron. He'll do anything. Preston was brought in as a writer. Like Johnny
Okay.
Knoxville was like, hey, there's this really funny guy, Preston. I think that he'll come up with great bits for us. And then like Knoxville was the one who was like, well, I mean, you should do some of the bits. And, and it appears that they just were like, what's the absolute worst thing we can make Preston have to deal with?
Yeah.
Was the reoccurring bit with Preston.
Yeah, it was very much. What are we gonna get Preston to eat? Like, what are we gonna get him? What are we gonna throw on Preston's body because he's a big guy, and putting this big guy in all types of substances is always gonna be funny.
One of my favorite Preston-related things
Yeah.
is in Jackass 2.5.
Yeah.
And if you remember in that movie, and I wish that they did this for all the Jackass movies, honestly, was like Jackass 2.5 is maybe like 7 cut stunts from the movie. But it's almost in a documentary style where it shows the behind the scenes of like how the idea came to be, like the ways that they set up the shot and everything. And the one was that Wee Man bungee jumped with Preston being his base.
Yes. Yep.
And
I
there's
remember
this-
that.
And there's this bit where Wee Man was like, well, it started with this note, and it's just a giant circle and a tiny circle with a line connecting it, and then arrows that say Preston and me.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see 2 people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
Did you see any of these movies in theaters?
I didn't see the first one because I didn't care about Jackass.
Okay.
2, 3, and 4 I did.
Okay. Very
by
cool.
the time 2 came around, I had seen the first movie and was like, that was insane. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then by the time the second one came out, the second and the third one came out during a time period where I was literally just me and my friends were going to see a movie every Friday night.
Word. Yeah.
And then the fourth one, I actually flew down to Georgia to see with my brother.
Oh, shit.
When he was
That's
living in
cool.
Georgia, because he loved Jackass. These were like movies we watched all the time. And at the time, it felt like this was the last one. Now we're at the one that's literally called The Best and the Last.
Yeah.
And I think it's sincere.
I think it is. Yeah.
Literally, I looked it up out of curiosity. Danger Aaron is the only one who's not over 50 right now.
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah.
49 years old. Like,
All
we're
right,
talking
yeah.
about dudes who are anywhere from 49 to 56 years old doing very dangerous stunts.
Yes.
Um,
Which is why I think a lot of the stunts done in the last one was a lot of the newer people that they brought
Which
in.
I did clock that the dude from Odd Future is back.
Okay, cool. Jasper.
But Jasper's back. But more importantly, the star of the last movie, Jasper's dad, is in this one.
Yeah,
who
nice.
he was the best.
So good.
He kind of took over the Bam Margera role. He became the dude who's afraid of animals, so they just kept putting him in situations.
I love it.
With animals. But oh my God, just such a. You know what the thing is? These movies and this show, through a specific lens, it can look like bullying. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, no, this is like the bullying, though, that like a brother does to a brother.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much love and joy in the chaos of what they do, which is why I think these movies feel so infinitely rewatchable.
Yes.
Is that it's like no one like hates each other while they're doing this. Like, it's all in good fun. And it also feels like, you know, listen, I'm not going to. Vince McMahon can suck the biggest of dicks and die for all I care. But one thing that I always did respect about him was that he used to always say, I will never ask someone to do a stunt that I wouldn't be willing to also do. And I feel like the Jackass ethos is even stronger.
Oh, yeah.
That, you know what I mean? Like no one's going to pitch an idea that they wouldn't be willing to do themselves, but then it's like, who's the best person to do this bit? Like,
Exactly. In the latest trailer that I watched for the new one, I know that we had heard that we were getting some Bam bits, but it does seem like
it's all archive.
It is archival footage, but
Yeah.
it seems as though one of the bits is him being chased by a snake, so that will be fantastic again, because whenever I see Bam scared of snakes, it really does, like, listen, I love Bam. We're going to get into it real quick in our history in just a second. But Bam also, even before all of the issues, kind of had his head up his own ass.
I was going to say, there's a lot of...
Thinks very highly of himself as an individual.
A lot of these guys seemed like, Barb and I were talking about how, like, Ryan Dunn, Steve-O, Knoxville specifically, like, those three dudes feel like if you got to talk with them, they would literally give you the time of day and give you a ton of their attention in a conversation, especially if it's not like a convention where you're like moving down the line, but you just happen to recognize them out in public.
Yeah.
Bam, as a person who lives where Bam lives, it became a very known fact that he would maybe give you 5 seconds and then move on with his life. Like he was not very generous with fans the way that a lot of the other ones were. And look, nobody
owes you
no one's
their time
owed
of
that,
day.
but also there is an element of like, there are ways to be cool about it and there's ways to be a dick about it, and it seems like Bam very frequently went with the dick way of being about it.
Sure. And it was always nice to see him brought down a few pegs in those situations of him being scared of the snakes.
He became the runaway star. You know what I mean? He had how many spin-off shows? Like, like Knoxville went off to become a legitimate actor for a while, and Bam became a legitimate famous reality show star for like a decade. Like,
and let's get into it, because honestly, I loved Jackass when I was younger.
Never
but
watched any of the spin-off shows either. Could not.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Barb was telling me that she was like the biggest Wild Boys person. She's like, Wild Boys was
Wild
incredible.
Boys. I loved Viva La Bam. I didn't get into any of the shows after
Bam's
when
like
the
Unholy Reunion.
all
or
that stuff. I didn't get
Home
I couldn't
Wrecker
follow
or any of
along.
that.
Yeah, because I think I got to a point where I'm like, oh no, this guy's kind of a prick. Like,
yeah,
I liked hanging out with Phil and April and seeing the other guys. Rab. I always loved Rab himself because he always seemed like the most normal of that group of just like, why is this guy here?
Well, I can tell you that April I've hung out with.
Yes.
And she is just the sweetest person, because when I went to college, I went to the local Penn State campus just outside of Westchester. And we do a giant fundraiser every year, Thon. If you live in the Pennsylvania area, you've seen the kids in their Thon shirts anywhere in Pennsylvania raising money. And it raises millions and millions of dollars for kids with cancer every single year.
Nice.
And April was a huge supporter of that. And I remember she saw us fundraising one time and came over and talked to us. And she put like $100 in our can.
That's
but
awesome.
was like, hey, get me the number of the person who's in charge of your organization, because I want to do something with you guys. And I think she had just put out a cookbook or something. And
That's cool.
She came to the school. She did like an hour talk and then was selling these cookbooks, and then just gave the charity 100% of what she made selling the cookbooks.
Wow.
While there, like, it was like something like that, or maybe 50, whatever it was more generous than necessary. And helped raise a couple $1,000s for our specific school to that fundraiser. So it's like, April Margera makes you really go, how did Bam come from such a genuinely sweet human being?
So I think the difference between you and I in terms of why this ran our lives, I think it can also come down to video games, man. Yeah. I was obsessed with the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, and that literally like kind of took that spin. They got more involved with Bam and the Jackass crew. This shit ruled my life. That movie it was Grind. I was all about that. Oh,
I think my problem was that like so many people loved it at the time. Yeah, there was two factors, right? This was huge, and so many people loved it, and it was all people talked about. But a lot of those people were some of the worst people that were really into it. And also, you got 2000. I am like at my most religious.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
like,
true.
That was like a huge factor too. And I was never like that much of it, but 2000 was right around when I was like, I don't care about secular things. Like, like
I can get behind that.
Like I was that attitude. So, and I don't think I realized how short the run of this was. That it was like 3 seasons all in like 12 months or something like that. Yep. Like it is not a show that was on very long.
No.
It was kind of the spin-offs ran longer, I think. I think shit like Viva La Bam and Wild Boys have more episodes.
Yeah. And I'll always like hanging out with these guys again with whatever projects they put out. I want to see. Of course, we sit here and jest. I really do hope that Bam is on the other side of most of his troubles, and this is an upswing. Yeah. Because as I've seen of late, it seems like things are going well. He is skating again, very frequently. I'm very excited for the new movie coming out. And I'm always gonna tune in to whatever these guys have going on. There's one thing I will say. I love Steve-O. I do listen to his podcast. I also believe there are some things Steve-O just should bow out on conversationally because he doesn't understand a lot of stuff. So that's all I'll say. I think he has in recent years been like, yeah, some of the stuff that I was going to do was kind of dumb. At one point, he was going to get actual breast implants.
I remember this.
You remember that story?
I remember that.
I'm glad that he kind of bowed out on that one after thinking things through. So, I love this show. I am more in love with a lot of the spin-offs that came along with it and the world that it kind of built up around. And I'm very excited to listen to my my CKY CDs as I drive to the movie theater.
Perfect. Well, Dylan, Merry Christmas, dude.
Merry Christmas.
Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, oh. Now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Happy Holly, have a great Holly, have a merry happy holiday.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.